All right, everybody, let's dive into something that might not sound like the most fun topic, but trust me, it's important, especially if you're in Broward County, Florida. We're talking homeowners insurance.
Oh, yeah, big time. It's one of those things you don't want to think about, but you really got to know this stuff.
Exactly, and today we're going to get into it using an article from Antonio Ortega, LLC.
He's a real estate expert down here in South Florida. He really knows his stuff when it comes to homeowners insurance.
So if you're buying or selling a home down here,
Yeah.
this is for you. All right, let's break it down. What exactly IS homeowners insurance?
Okay, well, it's basically like a safety net for your house, and everything in it, it protects you from those unexpected events like a fire or a storm or even someone getting hurt on your property.
So like if a hurricane comes through and rips off your roof, that's where homeowners insurance steps in.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not just about protecting your stuff, it protects you financially too. Like if someone sues you after getting hurt on your property.
And that's super important in Broward County, right? Because we've got those extra risks like hurricanes and floods.
Exactly. And a lot of times mortgage lenders actually require you to have it.
Makes sense. So, okay, we know it's important, but what does it actually cover?
All right, so most policies have a few main parts. The first one is dwelling coverage, and that's for the actual structure of your house, the walls, the roof, the foundation, all that.
Okay, so that's the house itself. What about all my stuff inside?
That's where personal property coverage comes in. So like your furniture, electronics, clothes, anything you own inside the house, if it gets damaged or stolen, that's what covers it.
So if a hurricane floods my basement and ruins my awesome record collection, that's personal property coverage, right?
Yep, you got it. And then there's liability coverage, and that's if someone gets hurt on your property or if you accidentally damage someone else's property.
Okay, so that covers damage to my stuff and other people's stuff, and it protects me from lawsuits. What if my house is like unlivable after a fire or something?
That's where additional living expenses come in, so it'll help pay for a hotel or a temporary rental while your house is being fixed.
Okay, so that covers a lot. But the article mentions some specific things about Broward County. What makes homeowners insurance different here?
Well, because of the hurricane risk, most mortgage lenders want you to have enough coverage to completely rebuild your home, not just what it's worth right now.
Oh, so it's not just about market value, it's about the actual cost to rebuild.
Right. They want to make sure you can fully recover if the worst happens. And then there's hurricane deductibles, which are different from your regular deductibles.
Wait, hold on. Hurricane deductibles, what are those?
Okay, so a regular deductible is like a fixed amount you pay before the insurance kicks in. A hurricane deductible is usually a percentage of your home's insured value.
So, like if my house is insured for $300,000 and my hurricane deductibles is 5%, I'd have to pay the first $15,000 if there's hurricane damage.
Yeah, that's right. And then another really important thing for homeowners in Broward County, flood insurance.
Even if I'm not in the flood zone.
Even if you're not in a flood zone, regular homeowners insurance doesn't cover flood damage. And with all the rain and storms we get here, flooding can happen anywhere.
So that's something I really need to think about. Even if my lender doesn't require it. Okay, this is a lot to take in. It sounds like choosing the right policy can get pretty complicated.
It can be, but that's why it's good to have someone like Antonio Ortega on your side. He's a real estate expert in South Florida, and he knows all the ins and outs of homeowners insurance here.
So he can help me figure out all this stuff and make sure I'm covered for everything I need to be covered for.
Exactly. And speaking of being covered, let's talk about the cost, because I know that's on everyone's mind.
Yeah, for real. How much is all this going to set me back?
Well, it depends on a bunch of things. The value of your house, where it's located, how old it is, the type of coverage you choose, your deductible, things like that. But on average in Broward County, you're looking at somewhere between $2,500 and $4,500 per year. And then you'd have to add flood insurance on top of that.
Yeah. Okay, that's a chunk of change, but
No,
better to be safe than sorry, right? So any tips on choosing the right policy and making sure I'm getting the best deal?
Definitely first things first, know what your house is worth and how much it would cost to replace all your stuff.
So I need to figure out how much dwelling coverage and personal property coverage I need.
Right. And then think about where your house is located and how it's built. Are you in a flood zone? Is your house built to withstand strong winds? These things can all affect your premium.
So it's not just about the size and price of my house, it's about location and construction too. What else?
Don't just go with the first quote you get. Shop around, get quotes from a few different insurance companies, compare what they offer, their deductibles, any discounts you might qualify for, and read the fine print.
Yeah, gotta love that fine print. Make sure I know what's covered and what's not. Any other words of wisdom?
Just remember, it's important to review your policy every year. Make sure it still fits your needs. Things change. You might get new valuables. Your house might increase in value. Just make sure your insurance is keeping up.
That's a good point. Things change all the time, and if I'm feeling lost with all this, Antonio Ortega can help me out right.
Absolutely, he's a
Yep.
pro at this. And he can guide you through the whole process, explain all the options, and help you find the right policy for your needs and your budget. Plus, he's got this fantastic offer. He contributes 10% of his fee toward your closing costs if you use him as your real estate agent.
Wow, that's amazing. So not only does he know his stuff, but he can actually save you money too.
Mm.
Right. So we've covered the basics of homeowners insurance, why it's extra important in Broward County, and how to choose the right policy. But there's a lot more to unpack, so stick with us. We'll be right back with part 2, where we'll dive even deeper into the world of homeowners insurance. Don't go anywhere.
Okay, so before the break, we were talking about shopping around for insurance and getting those quotes, but let's be real, insurance isn't exactly cheap. Are there any ways to bring those costs down a little?
For sure, there are actually quite a few things you can do to potentially lower your premiums. One of the easiest is to ask about bundling discounts.
Bundling discounts.
Yeah, a lot of insurance companies will give you a discount if you bundle your homeowner's insurance with other policies like your car insurance. It's like a multi-policy discount kind of thing.
Exactly. It's worth asking about.
Okay, what else can we do?
Well, think about it from the insurance company's point of view. They want to see that you're taking steps to prevent damage. So things like installing a security system or smoke detectors or even hurricane shutters can sometimes get you a lower premium.
So they reward you for being proactive and making your home safer.
Yep, exactly. It shows them you're a responsible homeowner and that you're less likely to file a claim.
Okay, so being safe saves money. Got it.
What else? If you have an older home, you might consider some upgrades that can improve its wind resistance. Things like impact-resistant windows or doors.
So those upgrades not only protect your home, but they can save you money on insurance too.
Right, on both counts.
Okay, so we've covered choosing a policy and ways to save money, but what about things that aren't covered by a standard policy? What if I need extra protection for specific things?
That's where additional coverage or what they call riders come in. Yeah, let's say you have some really valuable jewelry or artwork or antiques. You might want to get a separate rider to fully cover those items because standard policies usually have limits on how much they'll pay out for certain categories.
So it's like customizing your policy to fit your specific needs.
Precisely. You add on these riders to cover anything that's not included in the basic policy or to increase the coverage limits.
That's a good idea, especially if you have some valuable stuff. And speaking of keeping your policy up to date, it's important to review it every year, right?
Absolutely. Things change. Your life changes. You might buy new things. Your home's value might go up. So it's smart to make sure your insurance is keeping pace with those changes.
That makes sense. You don't want to find out you're underinsured after something happens.
Exactly. And, we keep talking about Antonio Ortega and how helpful he is with all this stuff. And it's because he really is a valuable resource.
Yeah, he's a local expert.
Yeah.
And he knows the Broward County market inside and out, which is super important when it comes to insurance.
And he understands all the complexities of homeowners insurance. He can explain everything in plain English and help you find the right coverage for your specific situation.
And on top of all that, he's offering that amazing incentive where he contributes 10% of his fee towards your closing costs.
Yep. If you're buying or selling a home in Broward County and you use Antonio as your realtor, you can actually save some serious cash on those closing costs.
I mean, that's a no-brainer right there. You get expert guidance from someone who knows the local market, and you save money.
It's a win-win situation for sure.
So, okay, we've talked about the basics of homeowners insurance, how to choose the right policy, ways to save money, and even how to get extra protection if you need it. But at the end of the day, it's about protecting your home, right?
Absolutely. It's easy to get caught up in all the details and the financial aspects, but ultimately, homeowners insurance is about protecting one of your most important assets.
It's not just about bricks and mortar. It's about protecting your home, your sanctuary, the place where you make memories with your loved ones.
You said it, it's about having that peace of mind, knowing that if something unexpected happens, you'll be able to recover and rebuild.
So whether you're a seasoned homeowner or just starting out, remember, homeowners insurance is a smart choice. It's about protecting your investment, your financial well-being, and the place you call home.
And the more you know about it, the better equipped you'll be to make informed decisions.
That's right. Knowledge is power. So stay curious, stay informed, and for all your real estate needs in Broward County, Antonio Ortega is the guy to call. We'll be right back with part 3, where we'll wrap up this deep dives. Don't go anywhere. Okay, we're back. And hopefully by now you're starting to see why homeowners insurance is so important, especially in a place like Broward County.
Yeah, there's a lot to think about, but it's worth it. In the end, it's all about protecting your investment and having that peace of mind.
And if you're feeling a little overwhelmed by all this information, don't worry, you're not alone. Remember, Antonio Ortega, LLC, the real estate expert we've been talking about.
He's the best. He really knows his stuff when it comes to homeowners insurance in Broward County.
He can walk you through the whole process, answer all your questions, and make sure you have the right coverage for your needs and your budget.
And don't forget about that amazing offer he's got going on right now. He's actually contributing 10% of his fee towards your closing costs if you choose him as your realtor.
Yeah, that's a huge saving, especially when you're buying or selling a home.
It's a fantastic opportunity to work with a true expert and save money at the same time.
So if you're ready to take the next step, head over to AntonioOrtegaLLC.com. You can find all the details about his services and that incredible closing cost offer right there on his website.
You won't regret it. He's the best in the business.
All right, so before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a little something to think about now that you know more about homeowners insurance. What steps are you going to take to make sure your home and your belongings are protected?
It's really about taking all this information we've talked about and applying it to your own situation. Maybe it's reviewing your current policy, maybe it's shopping around for better rates, or maybe it's reaching out to Antonio Ortega for some expert guidance.
Whatever it is for you, we hope this deep dive has given you the knowledge and the motivation to take action. Remember, homeowners insurance is an investment in your peace of mind and your financial security.
It's about protecting what matters most.
So stay informed, stay protected, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.